Alright, and there we go. We now have even a capture of the game, so good start. Most things work, and even there is apparently in the chat there is a nice indicator for the charity. Otherwise, to think that made a textual indicator for the game screen, because tried to make the bar one that actually has the function on the stream elements. It does nothing. It just doesn't even get drawn. Unlike every other one, like donate to the streamer, donate to whoever you want, have proper function. The one for the Twitch charity has no functionality to it anymore at all, so made like a textual indicator that will update as we get donations, hopefully. So our charity indeed this time is the Sunny Harbour Cat and Kitten Rescue, which unsurprisingly has something to do with cats. The logo also has an orange cat on it, but we do think that they do actually work also with the more sharp cats than claimed the orange cats are, which tends to be the well-known concept that the orange cats are not terribly smart. At least the one would close all the doors to get the food that was famous on Reddit, like, yeah. But indeed, they do work in the area of 5 and do rescue both cats and less than desired kittens, and do in general provide all the usual services that one would expect of a cat shelter. They also advertise on their website that they are indoor recommending, which usually is considered to be the gold standard, that the cat wouldn't at least wander around and get in trouble or put others in trouble, and no kill, which is mildly some do question whether it's the correct way to manage the overall expectations, but it's usually considered more desirable. So there you go. They do have very good track record of being active. For example, very recently they posted on Facebook which Christmas foods might not be compatible with cats. So do think that they are also in that sense good charity, that they do actually remain active, which is a good start when you look at the Twitch charity function and look at the charity. Some of them have, for example, closed shop in 2022, like first considered one that was like a bunny rescue thing, and it had bunnies, but it had unfortunately also closed shop in 2022. So that most probably is not the way. So we instead chose the orange cat, and there we go. So Sunny Harbour Cat and Kitten Rescue could use some. We set the target at moderate £50, which do think should be reachable with our good feline-friendly viewers. And otherwise, as we did not play Frostpunk yesterday due to our good Frostpunk player having other things to do, like finishing fluff general convention pictures for publication, so that the convention pictures go out one day. Rather worked with that, so we are starting with that today, and most probably at some point changing game, if not also attire, we'll see. But then we are good to go, and hopefully we get some action also for the cats. We might look a bit later at the website and again discuss the charity, or if you have questions as far as know about it. They do also clearly do some adoption, quite small scale, because they had on the website currently like 2 cats good to go, and both of those were reserved, so appears effective. So let's then start with the game and see how that goes for us. So probably going to start again, as we apparently had some kind of problem after playing a month with actually keeping the colony heated. So let's see what is the most recent save and if we should start again, because we have started this game again like quite a few times, and it always suffers from that the weather does not play ball. Like it gets much colder and then you have trouble keeping even the basic facilities in your base warm. So yes. Oh yes, with the lack of warmth. So there we go, and there indeed is our feline friendly viewer donation indicator down there, which made quickly because the one provided by Stream Elements doesn't load, which is most excellent way. So made one by simply typing that out, and we'll update that once we get going with that. So there you go. The system is a bit simple because there's supposed to be automatic one, which doesn't work. So let's then move here also the game to the front and see what our save actually contains, and then possibly start again. And indeed, greetings to Jax and Raven also. Hopefully your holidays have been good this far, or at least starting the holiday season today, if not already. So let's try to do some donations, hopefully for the friendly felines of 5, and also then the game soundtrack on. So let's see, like we tried the survivor mode, which certainly is not the thing because it's so hard to actually maintain any heat in your building. So let's see. We have save like stream underscore 1C. So we have started apparently again. Do suspect. So it's again like day 5. Let's load that and see what is going on. Alright, what is our plan? At least we have more hope than discontent. Cold at home, cold at work. Don't you say? Alright, we are going to have temperature rise very soon, so that probably helps a bit. Alright, we are currently mining metal there. We do have some coal, and we do have also work at coal mining. Yes, and we do have a steam hub, so and we have homeless people, so We should build more homes. There's one sick absence, so the medical post actually kind of functions. So we do a medical post, so we can build once we have enough wood. Are we producing wood? Yes, we are producing wood. So it looks like mostly that we should start the overall work day starting would be the next thing, because clearly people are not mining coal at 2 AM unless you declare an emergency shift, which in turn has considerable consequences for morale. So looks good. And we already had expedition out. This is actually done quite well. Fair enough. So it looks better. It looks better than most attempts this far. And we certainly will have more sick people. At least we also have a medical post. What is our law situation? We have again Kantaway of radical treatment. Coal deposit, yeah, we need to build a coal mine. Do we already have the research thing? Yes, and they are researching sawmill, which should improve the wood production situation. Oh, hello there, Kamu. Let's greet you properly also. So we are having a charity special with the cats. So hello there, Kamu, and indeed we are having charity special with the Sunny Harbour Cat and Kitten Rescue. So our good friendly felines could use some support. The Sunny Harbour Cat and Kitten Rescue is located in Fife, because currently the which charity thing only offers Australia. Germany is not offered, which was the example that complained to the support, but rather Australia, UK, US and Canada, and nothing else. So complained to the support that used to support charities in Germany or France, because it never offered Finland for deity forbid. It offered Denmark, and that was to think Denmark and Sweden were the closest, like we last year did Kalmar Kattehem for like homeless cats of Kalmar. So this time we are doing homeless cats of Fife in the UK, because we are unable to do anything much closer at this time. But indeed we are trying to do 50 pounds for the cats. So if you have possibility to support friendly felines of Fife, it would be of course appreciated if you do. And indeed we do have also a plush saber cat who will acknowledge donations with with a good spirit. So, oh, hello there, Red Scale, indeed. So, do donate to get the plus saber cat out more. We do also have other plus saber cats that you might get by donating more. We do have actually more plus saber cats here, unsurprisingly, with this one. So the good plus cat would like for you to donate. So let's then continue with the game. Like as noted, we have pretty good start because we started again on the previous stream with that game, like last summer, because we have several times already run out of the temperature, more or less, like when your buildings are cold, when your food is cold, and all the things are cold, then people will sooner or later cease to work, which tends to be like the main problem. It's very survival oriented city builder over like just like, hey, build things, they work. Nope. Typically it's the other way around. You build things and they stop working due to excessive cold. So hopefully Red Scale's holiday season has also started well, and indeed we are running the charity for Sunny Harbour Cat and Kitten Rescue. And we do also on the game screen have the indicator down there, which is manual, because the automatic one was unwilling to even draw, so we'll update that manually from the one on the chat once there is activity there. So let's continue. So let's return to the game and see about. So our expedition is soon arriving somewhere, and at least we do have patients in the medical post. So we should build more houses because it probably helps a bit with the sickness. Are we even producing wood? Do you think we are producing wood? Yes, we are producing wood. Yeah. Workforce will extract wood. Are we also researching the sawmill? Research stopped. Closed at this time of day, but it's working time. Alright, it opened exactly now, so that was also the reason why we were not producing wood. So we should build more houses, maybe we will then get less sick cases, so. Do you think that would be optimal because our street pattern is this way? We are out of wood, yes. It's like the smartest thing ever. We are out of wood, yes, because we just used it. Oh, we have first donation. Let's then acknowledge that properly. So very much appreciated. So let's of course we do then get maybe a bit different plus saber cat, because as said we have many. This is like a bit more realistic one, so the saber cat is thankful for the donation. And of course, Kamu, always appreciated, and thank you for donating to the charity. Let's see if we get to the 50 pounds. Do you think that should be rather possible still today? So continuing at least for 3 to 4 hours, maybe change game in a couple of hours. So let's then continue and see about updating our good indicator here. So now we do have a tenor, so let's update our excellent totally manual indicator because the automatic one refused to work. There we go, our absolutely manual indicator is up to date. Let's continue with the game, and again thank you Kamu for your donation. It is appreciated by the friendly felines of 5. Oh, thank you, and have a good holiday travel then. Travel safe, as it is most important during the holidays that you have no hazard while traveling. So good travels to you, and thank you for your contribution. So let's then continue with the game here in turn. So let's move over to the game again and see what we can do there. And we even decided to build one house. It's probably again that we do not actually have workers for construction, which is, at least we are not immediately running out of coal. Now we have more wood, so we can put more housing on the construction menu. So here we can actually build 2 units of housing. Alright, our explorers arrived at the crash site, so let's see. There are plenty of priceless supplies in the wrecks of our expedition. Searching among the crates scattered in the snow behind the wrecks, we found the bodies. Yeah, that's not surprising that they froze to death. They are tangled together in a single frozen mass, as if these people were trying to find at least a bit of warmth just before they died. We can do nothing for them, not even bury them. Yeah, everything is frozen, so take resources. And then read the journal. Alright, it's only that, so then we need to choose where to go next. Crash site, gloomy cave, observatory. So now, do we now have our, do you think that our, yes, we now have 139 wood, so do you think that if we are going to the observatory next, traveling through our city might be a good option, because then we get the let's go through our city so we get resources to the city, because some additional wood might be a great idea. Sawmill researched. Build a sawmill near frozen trees to start cutting them down for wood. So that should more or less improve our wood budget quite a bit if we build a sawmill, which probably costs 10 million. No, it's only 10 wood, so we can actually build a sawmill. Building will destroy resource sources not adjacent to street. That looks like that will have a lot of wood, so we can build the street like out there. So we need to build street. There we go. That should pretty much do it as far as the wood production goes, so we should have quite stable wood production soon. And also try to house all the people gradually, because currently clearly lack of stable housing is a problem, and we will get the resources from the expedition in quite short while, which also helps, as we then do actually have a lot of like 139 wood. That certainly will make sure that we will build a lot of housing. And we do also like minus 30 degrees is luxurious in comparison to like what it can be. So in that respect also, because that is very high-end temperature. So let's then alright, we now have some, at least to think that there will be soon workers also for construction, so research goal not set, we indeed should. Alright, then there's the prosthetics law. So consider signing the care house of prosthetics law, yes. Does it require care house to have prosthetics? Do you think prosthetics is very faintly in the background? Great graphics design. We're building care house. You will have to build a care house. Yeah. Do you think that is a sane law as long as we can maintain the care house? So it increases hope, which is good, and we will soon get more wood so we can order a care house to be built. It looks like also the introduction of the sawmill will help once we get that. Let's build a care house there, so alright, now our good scouts arrived, so we can send the scouts out again to the observatory. There we go. So we are scouting. Alright, construction also began as we have returnees from research goal not set. Let's set research goal. So we did research the sawmill heaters. Do think is useful because it's for the workplaces. Yeah, each heater raises a workplace's temperature by 1 level and consumes 1 coal per hour. This is very important in the long run, because if we can't heat the workplaces, it's not going to work. So let's put that as research priority. Now we have a lot of resources, like 162 wood. At least we also have the sawmill, and the expedition is already on the way. So and we do even have some of the sick are being taken care of. We should solve the housing issues, but the housing issues are being solved as houses are currently being built, and now we have more resources, so we can build more housing on the warm area. I think that starts to be a solution for the housing issue, because once we have less dehoused people, they will also suffer less from the cold, even if the tent is not like the most warm building ever. And we have several days until the temperature drops, so currently this is more or less manageable. Care house has been established in accordance with the new law. Hope rises, and we now have 2 amputees, so we should at some point develop prosthetics. To remember the one time when we developed prosthetics and produced them all the time, so we had like we ran out of steel, but had like 40 pieces of prosthetics. Yes, so you can also over deliver. That happens. So let's then see about other issues we might be facing. At least currently we are not facing that many issues. We do have some food, we do have some raw food that can be cooked, and we do even have wood. Now we have a lot of wood because we also have a sawmill. We should have workers on the sawmill, but we do not currently have money for those. Or like workers do think it's more effective to work the sawmill than work the wood crates, so let's work the sawmill, and then we can actually put 5 workers to steel production, which is about 10 times better situation than spending time digging wood out of the frozen ground. So alright, our housing issues are dealt with, so we actually do have a surplus of housing, so at least something has been solved. Let's see how our heat. We do actually have heat in most locations, which is unusually good situation. Alright, we are producing 120 wood per day, so at least wood trouble will be over with. So that looks, and that coal pile has 11 workers. That coal pile is fully worked. We could reduce 1 here and put them to steel production. Let's general producing wood in any cases, like let's put 5 here and increase steel production. If we produce that much wood, it's better to try and produce a bit more steel. Alright, now we are doing 29 steel per day. $84 wood per day when your starting budget is 132 wood. Is more than sufficient even. This content is currently really low, so lack of medical care is the only problem. We should probably build another medical facility. The main problem is that we then also need workers to man it, so we can build one here, but we then need to ensure that we have enough workers to actually man it. Because here we can quite problem free, like the amputees just go here and live in the care facility. Once we can provide prosthetics, then they can again work in the coal mine or sawmill, so there you go. Care house only needed until prosthetics, because then we can put the less fortunate to work. Maybe when it is a matter of survival, fair enough. So let's then see about we do have research for the heaters, which will help with keeping workplaces heated up. We do here need engineers for the new medical post, so it's like increase medical care, yes, but we need engineers for that. So let's see where we do actually have engineers currently other than the research facility. So at least we are only using workers as hunters. Alright. We are not really currently using engineering workforce currently. Like, how about our coal mining? Good. Here we have 5 engineers, and certainly we could use them better operating the medical facility, so now we at least most probably have sufficient medical care, at least a bit more so. Yes, at least we did get the medical backlog slightly under control. Better than nothing. Now we have a lot of wood and we are producing steel at slightly better rate. Let's see how our coal budget is, because probably the next like we produce 216 coal per day. So let's see, coal consumption, we are exactly in balance, which is useful, but it's like we should at some point see about more efficient ways of producing coal, as if we want more steam facilities, it will be kind of an issue. Alright, scouts have reached the observatory, so let's see. Something's amiss at the observatory. No snow covers the precious instruments and the dome is open, letting a thin column of smoke. Someone's inside. Instead of astronomers, we are met by some of our lost people. They explained that they came here for help but found everybody dead. The astronomers continued their observations until they starved. That's a great start. What was so important for them, they wrote it up in their diaries. The loss of sunlight can't be explained solely by fouling of the atmosphere by the southern volcanoes. The sun is dimming, yeah, considering there were a couple of big volcanic incidents in the late 19th century, like Krakatoa, that you would actually have considerable bad weather for a while. Alright, we could send the survivors to the city, but we are not really that busy. There's the kind of danger that some of them may die, so it's usually... And we get more engineers, which is always the best thing ever. So how does one actually order these around? Because last time got the icons, so... as would like to certainly send them. Send them back to the city. Apparently they already are, because there's a timer there. So do you think that they are already traveling good? Because the UI is kind of unclear sometimes on that respect. Now we have very minimal disk content. Alright, that's good. We do still have more than enough wood, so it's the kind of... How about we rather produce steel currently, yeah, we have so much. Heaters research. Use heaters to heat workplaces during work hours. Do you think there was some way to turn the heaters off, which was, do you think, required? Using this view or something. Yeah, there you can do turn the heater on, but it's currently not very meaningful, as we the only places that would benefit from a heater already have heat. The medical post actually can be made very warm that way, but so that's the benefit with heaters, you can heat up workplaces at will. But it works only for locations that are actually... So we need new research topic then. Do you think that we can't really develop much else? We can develop the faster catering or coal tamper. Do you think coal tamper was quite useful, because it practically enables getting coal even when there is no deposit, so it practically refills the coal deposit. That's rather useful. After that, we probably should research drawing boards, because increasing coal production should be one major goal. Oh, alright, we have a donation, so let's respond to that. Because that is, of course, oh, indeed. So, here we are, and thank you a lot for contributing. You both, very nice. And the friendly felines of 5 are certainly related, because we are now actually above half what we originally indicated, so this should be rather doable mission tonight. So thank you for your contribution. And now we have the other plus saber cat. We still actually have also a third plus saber cat, so next donation gets still different plus saber cat. So thank you for your donation, and it's greatly appreciated that you also participated with helping the friendly felines of 5. Thank you. So let's then continue with the game. We have been doing this now for about an hour, so let's continue at least another hour with this game, and again probably get into trouble with actually keeping things warm, which is like the temperature at one point starts dropping again and again, which is the main problem. Like after a point the temperature just keeps going down and you can't really do anything about that. So let's resume with being too cold, and also thank you once again for your contribution. So let's then proceed. There we are, and we also need to update our indicator. Alright, we are 20 pounds away from our original goal, so that during the first hour this is actually going very nice. Thank you all for your contributions. So let's then pick the updated total. Let's return to the game. Alright, it just changed to free time. We have very little discontent, lack of medical care. Yes, it's still like once this arrives we have more engineers, so we can build more medical facilities for more engineers who just spend their time treating others. So yes, let's build still another medical facility, so we actually get more engineers and they immediately go to run even more medical facilities. We should be able to increase gold production, and then we are capable of like adding more steam generators. We do have one steam core available, but it practically requires that we have the ability to run it. Because if we have not enough gold, then we have not enough coal. Because currently our coal economy is pretty much on zero balance. It's now even slightly under, because we have a heater. And do think running the heater at the medical facility is currently worth the shortfall. We need to increase coal production in the long term, but it's not like a 5 minute problem yet. as long as we maintain moderately positive coal balance, or like not sufficiently negative to deplete reserves before we are able to do other. Alright, in about one game hour we will have arrivals, so we can immediately put them to work in the medical facility. Then we also will have another housing crisis. We also have more people to produce coal, so we can probably build another steam generator and start a new area of buildings, probably in this direction. There we go. Now we have enough people to run this. And then we have only one house actually missing, so now we can also increase coal production, so we do have proper, we can increase production of everything because we now have enough people to run the sawmill while also producing steel. So now we actually have only one housing problem, and we do actually have enough medical facilities, so we have almost no discontent. People are content. You almost never see that in this game, so we are doing even better than before, but the main problem will be that soon temperature will drop, then we need heaters, then we need coal. So it's of utmost importance that we do prioritize coal production in that respect. So then we also temperature will rise, so it's only 2 days, it's still very manageable comparatively, so this is a good point to save game because people are totally content. So this is stream 2C. So then we have one homeless, so it's kind of, we could build another house one of these days. This medical post currently actually has no patients, so all the sick are in the other two, so actually now we have no lack of medical care because we have surplus. Let's send the expedition out. So let's go to the gloomy cave. Oh, what else we have? Sturdy shelter. 22 hours. We could visit the gloomy cave first if we get resources there, because if we get more like of the colonists, we actually need to build new area overall. And here we have the hunter's hut, so to think that we could at this rate construct another hunter's hut. And here we have the cemetery. We have this far buried 6 citizens, so hopefully we can keep them alive. So let's see then, like we do have still quite a bit of wood, and we are not in any kind of resource crisis. The only thing that we will at some point run out of will be coal, but currently we do actually have maximum workers for all the coal fields, so it's like we just need a day to produce coal, and it will be morning soon, so I do think that our coal issues will be solved. We could set new laws, but do not actually want to set new laws currently. Would be more interested in, yes, we now have positive coal balance. We are producing wood we are producing steel, and we are very deeply down to like lack of food ration gain plus 30, food consumption 138, but it's also fortunately the cookhouse produces rations in comparative. So we should prevent starvation. As noted, we need another hunter's hut, so let's ensure food production. And now we can put workers here once we more or less have the. We do not have that many unemployed workers. The problem is that we have engineers, so practically we shall reduce workers and increase engineers, because then we have workers for the hunter's hut, which is kind of ironic. Too fancy workers. There we go. So we have more hunters now. We shouldn't really be working wood crates if we have a sawmill. There we go, more workers suddenly available. And everyone else would be better off getting steel. There we go. And we do have some housing. No housing issues actually at all, some starvation, but we also have more food production now. Do think we are still in deficit. Yes, but we have like increased raw food gain considerably. We could consider soup at some point, which like amount of food makes much more soup, but it's kind of also tends to be that the colonists are not very happy if they start getting only soup. We still have, it shows we have 2 amputees, but we actually have 3 amputees. So, like, we could also have heater in the care house, but they can't work should they have heat. That's kind of like, we should just get them prosthetics so that they can start being useful. Let's see about prosthetics, like we have now signed the care house law, and now we can sign the law for prosthetics. So everyone wants to contribute to survival of our city. If we can bring amputees back to full fitness, we should do it. Yes, this is the kind of like, why keep them in the care house if you can get them to work. It certainly reduces the issue of that you have people in the care house who are not getting any resources. And then we need the factory, which is kind of like, we should pass this, because we need to build the factory to actually make any. And this time we are not spending all steel at making prosthetics. So yes. Frightened patient, yeah. Radical treatment. Yeah, this tends to be the kind of case. will be left as an amputee is better than die, because we do also now have prosthetics soon available, so it's kind of like that will probably add a bit of discontent. No, we didn't even get any extra discontent. We did get the extra amputee though, so yes. This looks like almost problem-free currently, so we can see about how was our coal economy. Can we build the additional steam hub use is 72 per day, and we do have surplus of 60, so we can build an additional one and start increasing area gradually. Not adjacent the street, yeah, and we need to maximize the area, so it's like approximately here. So let's build a street first of all. There we go, we do have the street available. And we have also researched the coal thumper. So now we can mostly research steelworks to produce steel more efficiently. Extracts iron from deep deposits. So this is kind of like solution when you run out of the wreckage to make steel. It is useful, but how is it with drawing board? Research tier 1 technologies. So do you think that if we research this first, we are not going to run out of steel before that? Because it's like, at one point you have to have steelworks, because the steel piles that are just laying around run out, and then you're in trouble. Steel wreckage depleted, which was exactly what noted about. You will at some point run out of wood crates. We do have steel wreckage here, and we do now have workers plenty, because we also run out of one coal pile. So let's see. Coal deposit, we should probably just start doing the coal thumpers, because we now have one coal pile and one that ran out, so time to start. Time to expand the street here, so we can have the production facility there. Alright, now we have streets, so we can also build the additional steam hub. Like, let's see, what would be optimal. This is quite optimal, because we get maximum heated area. There we go. So let's make use of that steam core. Now we have no more problem with having sufficient heated facilities, and we can turn that off until we actually have buildings, so that it's not using up coal. As we need to improve the coal production facilities. We run out of one coal pile. We do have one there, but it's like it's better to start producing coal oneself directly, because otherwise the piles run out and then suddenly you have no resources, which is a major issue. Let's see how we are doing time-wise. Alright, we are up to 1 hour and a quarter, so let's continue with we do already, and we do also, it looks like we do also have struggle now, so let's also create struggle at least from the list on the chat to do things. So also greetings to struggle, and indeed we are doing charity special with the Sunny Harbour Cat and Kitten Rescue, which takes care of friendly felines of 5 in the UK. So as the charity function, for some reason only now provides Australia, US, Canada and UK, so it shows this time the feline charity from the UK. So let's then return to the game and see about improving coal production facilities when practicable. Now we do have heated mode here, and our coal economy is most probably now quite on the yes. So it's like we need to increase coal production, and now we can also add buildings there. Scouts reach the gloomy cave, and can we also build the coal dumper here now adjacent the street? Not adjacent the street. Alright, that's still blocked, so let's build also sideways street here. There we go. And scouts are at gloomy cave. This cave is or was inhabited. There are number of footprints leading to its entrance. We should check if there's still someone alive there. Alright, beast by beast. We can hear terrified shrieks coming from a cave uphill. When we come closer, several polar bears turn towards us, blocking the entrance. There are people trapped inside, and those beasts are picking them off one by one and feasting on them. Angry bears. Let's try to risk attacking the bears. People in the cave will leave. Scouts will escort them to our city if they survive. Yeah, it's a gamble, but of course we could have more citizens now. We had to help the survivors. When our scouts attacked the bears, the people in the cave joined them, and together they drove the beasts away. Unfortunately, the scouts died from their injuries. The people they saved set out towards our city, guided by a map made by the scouts, so we need to make a new expedition. Alright, fair enough. That happens. It's typically you find the other city and then you send the scouts in and immediately lose the expedition, so that's also good enough because we get citizens. We just need to create a new expedition. So that's good enough. We are currently more or less heating nothing, so we can turn this off for night. as we have no buildings there yet. There we go, now we are building the coal production facility, so we should have more resources as we have sufficient workers. And we mostly have very little issues with this content currently. We just need to develop and build the factory also later for the prosthetics. So currently this looks rather good that we can actually save again. So let's see, once the working day begins, that do we now get, now that we have people available, we can actually produce coal. Now we should have fewer problems with coal. So let's see that we actually do have raw food for about a few hours. It's like we would need even third. It's like developing farming or whatever helps a lot. Also turning this on even for the days is kind of, currently it's impossible to turn it. Yeah, we can turn it off fully currently because it's not producing anything useful until we get more inhabitants in 18 hours. So we could build houses there, but how many we are getting? 18, 12 plus 4, so it's like 30, 34. How many people did single tent house? 10. So we need 4 of those. Coal pile depleted. Now it's clearly this facility will be very useful indeed, because it produces an artificial coal pile. We should practically now construct another there we go. It produces coal pile and people can mine that. So now we are practically Alright, we are currently building houses. It is hazardous, but only short term because we are on working time. 6 sick absences, wow. That's impressive. So it's like we do not even have excess medical cases, we only have lack of food as a minor problem. Drawing boards research, so we now have more research options. Let's see. Charcoal kiln, sawmill upgrade, wall drill. Drills in the walls of our crater, uncovering trees that once formed forest before the ice engulfed them. Provides up to 160 wood. So yeah, we would need probably better food gathering. Yeah, this is only for resources, like probably one good development would be hunter's gear. Thanks to better snowshoes and enhanced camouflage, hunters setting out from the hunter's hut will return with more raw food from each hunt, up to 20 raw food. Alright. Yes, that would be very good beginning, like for improved food economy. How about you produce more? That's very logical conclusion. Alright, and then we are building the rest of the housing. That's of course good, and we are not at least yet running out of coal. We have to of course turn that thing on at some point, but we do have another coal pile there before they construct the let's see, that at least provides some headroom to the coal economy. Yes, once we have both of these in production, we do have 2 undepleting coal piles, which helps considerably. At least the construction goes on also on free time. When these arrive, we will already have housing mostly ready, so that helps a lot, and then we can turn this on once coal situation permits, because it's like will absolutely ruin the coal economy. So we are practically, at least we do have very good wood situation, and now we are also constructing the second coal facility, so we do not yet need heaters, but soon it will, temperature will again drop, and after that heaters need to be considered. Fortunately soon we will have more workers, so it's like kind of how about you arrive and then mine more coal to actually run the run the thing. So we should also create new expedition once we get them, because it's like also the scout team requires workers. At least we are going to run out of coal, but it's like we can probably just let the generator to shut down for a while and mine more. It's kind of more or less. We will have more workers for that soon also. Alright, we are having severe starvation, but only like 3, so do think improved hunting will partially solve that issue, and this pretty much what the game comes to rather soon after beginning. That one is all the time putting some fire of some description out. Alright, and then temperature will also conveniently drop at the same time, so we need to see if we need to run heaters. And yes, now we are out of coal, but we also need to see about temperature will drop, so it's very excellent indeed, like the usual. How about having a minor crisis? Now we have enough workers to actually run everything. So it's more or less the issue of getting more coal to mine more coal. So, and the housing crisis was directly averted. To just think these will go very soon too cold, because the temperature will drop and then we need to turn this on, but we first need to mine more coal. Alright. This content will rise, excellent. It only rose, fortunately, a bit. Unsure if it would help if they die out of gangrene instead of committing suicide. Is it better, like a popular public relations success? Yes, we had a death from disease instead of suicide. Maybe if you build prosthetics very quickly. Alright, now we will most probably even get through, like, as we have enough workers for running the thing. Temperature falls, yeah, that's most excellent. Survivors reached the city, yes, and we have already housed them. We are also shut down now, and we would also need to run the heaters, so it's like, yep. Heating is off, yes, we know. We need to also mine coal, and yes, the place is very cold, but at least We now get gold from both of these soon, like now. So now we actually do have a semi-functional coal economy, so we can first of all turn this thing off, turn this thing back on, turn this thing back on, and then we can consider heaters for certain locations which have this symbol. So let's see, once we run the heaters, what is our coal economy? Do we need to still fight further with that? Because now we have no totally non-functional buildings as we are actually running heaters in them. Let's see how is our coal economy doing, because if we are now producing a coal surplus, then we actually more or less survive. Yes, we are running a coal surplus. No expedition group currently, as we do not have people to put in it, but now the main problem is that many things are very cold, so there will be more sick people, and now the hunter care will hopefully solve the food situation at least partially. So more efficient hunting, we hopefully get more, as we have considerable food shortage again. Oh, hello there, Briareos. Let's greet you properly. Greetings indeed, and we are running the Christmas charity special with the Sunny Harbour Cat and Kitten Rescue. So we already are more than halfway to our goal of £50 to donate to the Sunny Harbour Cat and Kitten Rescue, as we are trying to help the friendly felines of 5. And of course donations are appreciated, and we have nicely already at the slightly after 1 hour mark, we are more than halfway to our goal, so donations are appreciated. And let's continue with this game at least for half an hour and then see about changing game. We might finally start with Hitman World of Assassination or one of the other games that have recently gotten. So welcome and good to have you here. So let's then continue the game, and indeed welcome. And we do also have plus saber cats here that do also acknowledge any donations to the friendly felines of 5. There we go, and let's continue. A good time to also save game, as we are still not absolutely in trouble. We are even running the heaters, and we are still within reason. Hunter's care has been researched, so what is our current food situation like? How far are we? Yeah. We should build yet another hunter's hut, which is also possible, but this is like one of the major jokes. We should research also, so hothouse is nice in the sense that it can also produce food. The main issue with hothouse is that as the name states, it needs to be hot, and at one point you will be unable to keep these hot. But it's better. It also requires a steam core, which we currently have 1. So yep, let's develop that, and at the same time build another hunter's hut, because our food situation is still dire. There we go. we are going to build yet another hunting facility. I do think the cook house more or less can put all the food through every day. So it's like the problem with food, as they say elegantly, is one thing. We could move to soup, but still kind of unwilling to move to soup. Let's ensure maximum coal production, like for once we are running a surplus. So our main problem is like cold at home. At least here we have it's not terribly cold at home. We do mostly have heat zones in place, so we can also research generator improvements going onwards, but certainly like resolving the food situation is one important. It seems we have a donation, so let's continue resolving the food issue in a bit. And yes, thank you, Priarias. We just made our goal, so actually this has been great success already, as one might say. So we do now get the 3rd plus saber cat, which also has probably very fit headgear in Priaria's opinion. So we have had 3 plus saber cats. This is actually the 3rd one, so to have 3 plus saber cats, which is quite uncommon. There are not that many at all. So this has the hat that actually came from the Jaeger, the battle one year at the Fair League. So it's also very nice. Also, Muffin has one of these, and Muffin has like Muffin suit also for the saber tooth. So it's also very funny saber cat. Yes, the hat is very good because it came with the Jaeger the battle. So it actually fits well. Like took it off that when it ran out at Felly and put it on the saber cat. So thank you, and your donation is highly appreciated. And with that we made our goal, which is really nice, and thank the community for their generosity with the friendly felines of 5. So we do actually have very good donation to the Sunny Harbour Cat and Kitten Rescue. Very thankful for all who took part in the charity special, and we are of course continuing for now at least the extra or at least overall, not like just extra, but continuing. The original intent was at least 3 or 4 hours, so we are continuing at least up to 3 hours and change game in a bit and then see how we are doing. So thank you once again. We made the goal and appreciate that greatly. It's always nice to do a charity run now and then. Thank you. So let's continue with the game, and of course now we made the goal, so let's update our. Of course, if there are also others who are still interested in helping the friendly felines, it's certainly highly welcome. We made the goal, but we can go further. So there we go. So now we are at our target amount. So let's continue with the game. We might do this a couple of hours, and then depending also on viewer desires whether you want a change of suit or just like change game, so feel free to comment on that in the chat, as we can do either. We can also change suit, at least the head. Might keep the bodysuit because I do rather like how it looks overall, shiny and festive. But yes, we can change at least the head if you prefer, or if you like the skull dog, certainly we'll have a little break in any case, like mostly the freshen up mildly mildly in 2 hours most probably, but we will continue either with the Skull or a different suit at the same time, so feel free to state your preference, and otherwise we continue with the game. So let's see. And how has Priarea's festive season started also, do wonder. So let's continue here. We are even not in much trouble, like we can have still a successful hunt because we are just running out of working time. So, and we are running a coal surplus. We are running very much out of food, but alright, we need to have more, even more there for hunting. And it needs to be workers, so let's force the food production a bit. So now we have, are we still running a food surplus? Most probably not. Yes, it is a major issue. Like now we have 65 hungry, but at least it will be an improvement. People are hungry, let's feed them. We have 3 days to feed everyone. Considering the development and the availability of Steam Core, we can probably feed everyone in 3 days. That's not impossible, especially as temperature increases, so it's certain that we do get a working hothouse. So we should create another expeditionary force at some point. But currently the main issue is that we need workers for other matters. Our main problem is not medical, it's only food. And we will have less cold at home once the temperature increases, so do think that we can currently deal with less than stellar worker satisfaction for some time at least. Burial ceremony, yes, we certainly will have. At least probably the hunger will reduce, so let's speed up for now, because we can't do much during the night. We do not currently have expeditioners, so let's put faster game speed and then just continue once it is morning, because there isn't much we can do. Otherwise before working time. And now we can put people at work mining there for now, and then we can build the hothouse today. We're doing fine, all things considered, thank you. We should be able to reduce this content at some point. At least we do now have some food to actually cook. We could move the soup, which would solve part of the problem. It leads to more discontent, but it's like also does hunger, so we haven't ever moved the soup, because food additives doesn't really work. Like if you add things like sawdust in your food, it doesn't most probably make it very nutritious in the cold. So, new experience, Ukrainian dry cider. Alright, there's also Ukrainian cider in addition to the beer. Of course, there's good support for Ukraine, so most probably good to have also that. Delicious serving of, alright, tonkatsu pork ramen. Yeah, it's kind of like do not usually dare to eat any ramen or such, because usually everything has. So, let's see, do you think soup increased? Like, hope will fall slightly. Discontent will rise slightly. Eating soup will cause discontent. People who eat this food become discontented. It sounds like a great idea to serve food. People who eat this food become discontented. Yeah, you can sign a law that you can cook soup instead of full meals to feed more people. Yeah, but it's kind of like doesn't sound like a solution. On the long term at least, like you can short term before increasing food production, maybe feed soup, but it would be better to keep discontent low. Fighting arena might also help, but the problem is that nothing will relieve tension better than watching a few rounds of an all-out slugfest. Yeah, having people beat up each other helps. It's probably better than serving soup. Do you think providing a fighting arena is more realistic? Like, it's the decisions are quite amusing. Yeah, let's have a fighting arena instead of soup. Do you think that having a fighting arena actually is even more useful? I wonder if the fighters will abide by the rules. Well, lots of people enjoy these violent shows, yeah. And Mr. John Gore says that that's a fitting name. Hello there, Tika. Food fighting arena. Yeah, you can throw the soup at people, and it causes discontent. Sounds good. At least we now do have some food, so let's build also a fighting arena. It should be so that as many houses as possible benefit from the fighting arena, so we should put it there, but we need a street there. We could also put it here, but let's see where we can build a street first. It's better to have the street so that it's in between the circles, so let's make a street there and build a fighting arena along that circumference, so this would be good fighting arena position. Most will benefit from fighting. What's that symbol? Storage limit reached. So we actually have excessive, of course, I do not think we are we digging this pipe? I think so, yes. So actually this doesn't function unless the pile is empty, because we produce too much coal, like. Yeah, we have 538 coal there, so we do not actually need workers there currently. We can put them also to dig coal out of the piles. So at least our coal economy is extremely robust. And once we develop the hothouse, we immediately also build one of them, so our food crisis might one day be solved. We can build one of these, it's a huge thing. And it's kind of like practically only place we can actually build one in a heat area is there, so that's something. Word of advice, we have just used steam core. Yes, do know that steam cores are a limited resource. Storage limit reached, so now we actually do not need workers there. We can also build additional medical facility a bit later, because now we are building this, so now we have buildings ongoing. We need more medical facilities at this rate. Alright, fighting arena has been established. Whole prizes. Great. Arena will open at 19. Hopefully we won't get more medical cases from fighting. So now we built the hothouse and then we can produce food also there, which most probably helps with the problems with food. We should also found a new expedition team. Let's add new research. So we have hothouse and we have hunter gear. We can't help food production before we reached. Machine drafting, did we have anything here? Coal mining, yes. Charcoal kiln, sawmill upgrade. We are not currently having a resource problem. More scouts, which means we can have more than one scout team. That's not currently like the most pressing need. Heating, generator power upgrade, generator range upgrade. Yeah, we can double our coal consumption, that's great. How much does this cost? 75 wood, 25. Yeah, we do have the resources. Allows us to research tier 2 technology, so it's kind of either maybe upgrade the generator range. Coal use is doubled, and these are all really good. This would help probably if we increase the temperature. This helps with colder temperature. How soon we need this compared to second tier technologies. Temperature is going to actually rise, so let's research tier 2 access first. Considerable consideration. We can also serve soup, which pretty much ensures and we have immediately started producing food also here. Let's see how our food economy. Yeah. Alright, the temperature is going to increase, so that will actually help with this. We could deploy heater here, so but it's also kind of like, do not think it runs unless the building is open, so practically do think that should add that the food economy. So we are now like almost balanced. Like, yeah, let's build yet another hunter's hut. This is more or less a so. How about that we constructed unlimited amount of hunting facilities. We are trying to feed everyone. And then we can again force the hunting issue by taking all the workers out of that coal mine and putting them for night. Like, unsure how that works. You can actually run both day shift and night shift if you keep shifting the workers around. So we should be able to maybe resolve the food crisis tomorrow. Food crisis averted. Alright, we are having some starvation, but it is what it is. Alright, now we have like even more hunting. This is starting to be quite amusing. Are we now running a food surplus? Yes, we are now running a food surplus even without the hothouse, so we should be able to avert the food crisis. Let's see and save game here so we can maybe make some game moves if it doesn't work out. But there we go. Third full game and we are at least getting a bit further. We should also create a new expedition team, but we can only once we have enough people to actually. We are even mining coal here. Alright. We have engineers, so we can put some of them to mine coal currently. Then we should build more medical facilities. So let's see to that next. So we are not lacking housing, so we can build medical here. It also immediately needs the use of heater. Fortunately, temperature will rise soon, so we can reduce the requirements a bit as far as the heaters go. So let's see. We have then only minus 30 degrees, so that is kind of, at least everyone almost is gainfully employed, so these haven't run for a while because we are trying to expand the stockpiles first, like 461, 468. We are not going to need to run those soon, and now we will then have probably enough food to actually feed everyone, so we remove the starvation. Right, and heater on, and now we have more medical facilities, which lowered discontent a bit. Alright, temperature will rise soon, which will also help immensely. It's our current coal balance. Alright, we are running a slight deficit. Of course, when everyone is hunting. With the increased temperature, we can also run less heaters at some point. Alright, theoretically we should now that this opens be able to produce more food, so it's kind of like alright, temperature raises now, which helps immensely. let's see if we can actually. Alright, 41 are starving, so let's see if we can actually feed all. Alright, now we are at least producing food. Yeah, we are at least producing food, which helps immensely. And this is even producing raw food stably. So do you think we can actually feed everyone, and then we probably fulfill the promise, so we might get less discontent. We also have the problem that we need even more. We are only mining with the engineers here. Let's put them to medical. Like more medical means less discontent. And we have been able to feed the most and nobody is starving, so it looks like we might actually get out of the food crisis at some point. At least we are gradually reducing the number of hungry people, so as we should be running a food surplus, it should be actually possible. Yep. The main issue is that we now in turn need to mine more coal. Here we have actually nobody, so we have enough wood, so we can put people to coal, so our coal budget improves a bit. Now do you think we should be running? Yes, we are running both surplus of food and do you think we are surplus coal wise, so now we are more or less out of immediate trouble. And now we can research tier 2 technologies, so steam hub range upgrade, improved heaters, alright. Both of these are needed when it gets really cold. Do we have like resource wise, or do we have any food production improvements? Hunting tactics, flying hunters, alright. Hunters based here hunt every night, venturing beyond the city to track their prey from air. Alright, that's interesting solution. That's quite expensive but probably useful. How does hunting tactics? Hunters' huts will employ fewer people. That kind of helps because you have less people employed in that. Hothouse insulation will be warmer. That helps with needing less heaters. But this is actually because there will be less people working as hunters. That will actually be very meaningful improvement.
Night is coming. Put down your tools.
We have at least almost done away with hunger, and we have almost no discontent, so medical care is still insufficient, but it is what it is. We have enough time left that we will actually solve the starvation problem. Then we can, once we need less people to run the hunters' huts, we can actually have a new expedition team. So that also helps. Alright, let's see how we... Right, we have pretty good amount of viewers, so let's continue with this game for at least a while and see if we do another game or do this for the third hour, as to think this has been interesting this far. And if there are, you can of course ask in the chat if you want a change of game. Considered might do Hitman World of Assassination, but we could also do that, for example, tomorrow. So for now, do think that we could actually continue with this, because this game we started almost from the beginning and it has been going pretty well. So do think that we could actually keep going, at least for now. And do comment in the chat if you want a change of game. Of course, we do have pretty good viewership, so for now, do think also quite happy to continue with this for a while. But feel free to comment. So let's continue. Good time to save, as we are almost solved the food crisis. That's mentionable. Where is VIC? So also the Commodore product, but also just 6C. And we are also running a coal surplus, so we actually do have some stockpile of coal. Of course, you can also do redeems if you are interested in seeing something more. So we haven't really needed the sawmill, as we have over 100 wood still. So our main issue currently is that we would need even more medical facilities. Do we have any laws we would like to change? Child shelters, what does that do? New building child shelter, providing all children with a place in child shelter, given a permanent hope bonus. You will have to build a child shelter. Do you think that would be actually useful, as long as we can build one and keep it heated? So, because we haven't introduced child labor. And what are they going to do all day? Watch the snowfall. Citizens, let's build one of those. And do you think this would be in the heat area? Yep. it's good that we can have laws that actually increase hope. So we have high hope that defeats this content, and then we just need to still increase medical facilities. Like how about needing 10 million medical facilities. So we are not building more houses, we are building more medical facilities. Here we also have, like, we do have the right amount of engineers, but we have a problem with but yes, it will be considerable improvement if all hunters huts require only five people less, because they can be used in other useful activities, like there we go. Oh, prizes, as we now have a child shelter. Alright, and then we have yet another medical facility. So, and yes, feel free to comment in the chat if you would like different game, or if this is still interesting, then it's good. So let's see. There isn't that much else to do other than, let's see, are we still somewhere mining, like with just engineers? Yes. So let's release some engineers here for yet another medical facility, like we are trying to ensure sufficient medical care. Alright, now we have yet another medical post, so maybe that helps with averting the healthcare crisis. We are doing fine, all things considered. Thank you, citizen. Alright, and this is the day when we will eliminate starvation, because we actually have only 7 hungry people and we have surplus of food coming up, so, and we are not even totally running out of coal, so this is kind of a livable situation. Yes, we have 60 raw food, so we are actually really pushing it. Alright, the workday starts soon, and then we will eliminate hunger for now, so we will probably get some bonus. Now we have almost no discontent.
Move! Time to get to work.
Alright, there we go, we are producing food, so. And also otherwise it looks quite realistic that we will actually eliminate starvation, so that's a milestone. Let's see then. We still have 9 hours to eliminate starvation, so to think that we are finally going to also do it, because we do have a lot of food rations actually in existence, so let's hope that all people actually eat one. We should now do think according to statistics, run a food surplus. Yes. right, and then we should add more miners here. It's like in turn we are practically running slight coal deficit, so coal pile depleted. The hungry were fed. Hope rises, so yes, we are having a quite strong hope score by now. Alright, the coal pile ran out, so we can practically now push mining here. Yes, now we actually, and we have, this is purely engineer run. Yeah, how about you mine some coal, Mr. Fancy Pants? And now we have both of those at capacity. What is our coal? Yeah, we are still running a deficit. We will have more workers soon, so do think constructing a third coal tamper might be actually a solution here. So like, we'll destroy resource sources. What's here? What's where? Apparently it's a one of the trees. We don't need that here. We do have the sawmill on the other side. So yeah, it's removing some of the trees. Fair enough. There we go. Yeah, it's like mining these empty takes quite a while, so we do not need to run the tamper constantly because we have considerable amount of coal already in the piles. This will still happen during this working time, do think, which will increase the availability of workers for other jobs considerably, as we are then running all the hunters huts with 5 less, so we will have almost 20 workers released, so we can maybe again have an expedition team, and we are finally reducing the number of sick. We need robust coal economy because we soon have to start again running the heaters. Because temperature will again drop in a day 1 level, and then we have to run the heaters. So let's see then. Yes, so we... Alright, that was close. It doesn't matter that much because we are running mostly a sustainable economy, so it's like not a major issue yet. But we will then have more coal mining capacity. We will not run out of coal during the night. What do we have law-wise available? Medic apprentices, engineer apprentices. Alright, so you can practically put children to useful employment. Education is the key for our future. Let's teach our children medicine so they can help with the sick. After introducing this law, children from child shelters will help at medical facilities, raising their efficiency. Yeah, that's useful. Will help at workshops. Alright, so speed up research. Do think that it's better to improve medical care because we have not had a problem with research efficiency. We have had a problem with medical efficiency. There we go. We have only 2 sick. Wow, this far into the game, it's like a wonder. Alright, we have only 2 engineers still, but we are practically now having ability to produce more coal. And soon we will have more workers, because it's like only 8% away of actually getting more available workers, so that's an improvement. So let's see. There isn't that much we can do during the night, so alright, we are coming up to, let's do, considering what time it is, let's do 3 hours for now and then see how things are. So it's been very nice having some support for the friendly felines of 5, and we continue with this game as to think going to do Hitman World of Assassination tomorrow. So let's pre-areas food fighting arena, like what you throw the soup that causes discontent, or so. So let's then, for now we actually have only 3 sick. Wow, that's uncommon. So it's good time to again also save the game. We can now use the same slot, or let's do new one. This is actually considerably successful. We can speed up until morning, because there isn't that much we can do during the night. We will increase efficiency immediately once that is finished. So let's speed up until we do the research, because then we can move more people to produce coal. Once research continues, we can actually, then we again will have colder weather, then we should develop like improved heaters or whatever, so that we can run them more. And then now we get extra workers very soon, like now we have extra workers, so we can immediately get this to full efficiency, and once we get the pile of coal there, we can start mining that, and then we shall develop immediately develop something to do with heaters, because it's like improved heaters raise the temperature of workplaces by 2 levels, consumes 2 coal per hour. It's 1 coal normally. Yeah, of course. Steam Hub range upgrade, that would also be useful. Heat zones can be extended. It's like, both are useful, because if there's heat zone you need less heater capacity. But we can develop them sequentially, so let's develop this first so we get more range. Only 2 sick, wow. That's uncommon. Right, we should also see about wood production. We haven't yet dug out a pile of coal there. Now we shall also again produce wood. There we go. Takes a while that they actually produce a we can also add one worker here if needed. We currently have no excess sickness or starvation, which is absolutely unusual. We didn't get enough people to produce new expedition team yet, though. It's kind of like all people are employed in like producing coal at this rate. Coal mine might be useful, researching that, because there's like the deposits that can be used with a mine, like the coal deposit, iron ore deposit. They require a mine and then you get more. Alright, there's apparently comment on arena events. Let's see. Arena events where teams of players try to throw food items at each other and jump on them in fight. Yep, that probably also solves starvation. You fight with the food and then you eat it. That's a clear improvement when you consider it like. You get to also play with your food and then you eat it. Which is clearly better situation if you want to solve starvation in your colony. So we are still waiting for this thing to produce extra the coal pile. How is our coal economy doing? Yeah, huge deficit. Do we actually have any other wood crates? Do we actually have any other coal piles that we can do have the deposits? Like, yeah, we certainly do need means to produce more coal. Here we are, now we can mine more. Mine more coal there, we just need more people to do so. So it's like, it produce 26 wood is enough for now. We can also cheat a bit, like close one hunter's hut and put some of the people to mine coal. So now we are we should be now actually running a, yes, we are running a coal surplus and food surplus still, even if we reduced manning in one of the hunters' huts. So we have apparently solved every issue to some degree. Alright, the research will not quite finish yet this. Yeah, so free time began and we are mining enough coal, but also the temperature will drop. So it will be interesting trying to keep everything together. Tonight we can't do terribly much. We are not out of anything and we do not even have any unhappy anything. So we just speed up until the morning. We are uncommonly stable, we just need to make an expedition team at some point, but that requires people and we just do not have excess of people. Alright, we are going to run out of coal during the night. At least almost. Actually working time will start sufficiently soon. It got colder, yes, working time started, and now we need to also turn heaters on, so this will be interesting. Yeah, probably running a considerable coal deficit when we consider that everything needs a heater. Let's see how is our coal situation. This will be interesting. Apparently we have someone arrive like falls over. Eve. Yeah. Man from Winterholm. We found an exhausted man at the edge of our city. He said that he came from Winterholm, a settlement not far from here, and that he was last survivor. Everyone is dead. Yes, this was. You're all doomed. You must escape. Yeah, that was really successful. We got a man from Winterholm. Hope Falls. Yeah, fortunately we had no discontent. It's very good when you have confident citizens. It's one of the not best parts of this game. Yeah, and hope fell a lot. Fortunately we have almost no discontent, so they are all dead. How will we survive here without any help? We have to go back to London. If that is doing better than Winterholm. There's no hope for us here in this frozen desert. People start to gather as the news of fate of Winterholm spreads through the city. Some of them want to drop everything and flee to London. This is really fun. Now we then need to choose, because now we start needing police stations and such. So we need to choose either faith and spiritual strength or order and discipline, and usually it's like to prefer to build police stations with order and discipline, so let's go that way again. Neighborhood watch, and now we need to build also those. New building, watchtower, increase hope of people living nearby. You will need to build 2 watchtowers, so
Listen, everyone. New law is signed.
let's build a watchtower. Like that. And then we need one also somewhere to cover more buildings, like build one there and build some street first. And build another one there. So we now do have even more fun with coal production, to think like unconvinced want to leave. Yes, there's the faction of the Londonians, which is fun, because when you get problems, the Londonians get more participants, so people want to leave. Many people may join the Londonians, but we have very little discontent either. We should also turn this thing on, because we have 100 coal, so we have no problem in that sense, even when we are running the new research, please. Now we have the range upgrade, improved heaters. Do not have enough wood, and we should produce more wood. Yeah, we have only 8 wood. Yes, and then we need people also at the watchtower. So yeah, that at least increases hope. Then we need more wood. Fortunately we have also, are we running a coal surplus? Nope. by far. Because we do not have workers there. Why? We apparently should actually. Have we depleted one of these? No, here we have workers. We have actually depleted that one. Do you think? Yep, so we should actually run this. No wonder we had so good amount of. No wonder we had such good amount of workers. Alright, we have 14 wood. I do think it's like soon enough to actually the way we wanted to build. So once we have 15 wood, let's move people into gold production. And there's no increase in temperature inside, so it's like, how about no trouble? So we man this and produce a new pile of coal. Yeah. And then the research situation, improved heaters, yeah, that helps. Also coal mine might help. It requires a steam core, yeah, we need to find steam core with, yeah. What does actually the charcoal kiln do? Alright, you can produce coal out of wood. Requires 20 wood. Alright. So we are now actually in production there. Fall of Winter Home dropped the morale a lot. That's great. It would be good to produce wood, but we do not really have. Let's improve wood production situation. Why are we still running a food surplus? Yes, we are still running a food surplus. We do not need to run this though, so we can remove workers here, and we do have coal pile here, so we can put them here, and we should have improved the situation a bit. Yeah, now we are only slightly less in the deficit.
Night is coming. Put down your tools.
How soon do we need to heat some homes? Heating 9 of the cold homes within 2 days, then keep them heated. Yeah, 18 cold homes. Yeah, it's the kind of an issue that we need to try and address them. Let's heat some homes. Sure, so we need to eat. So we need to also build and man 2 watchtowers, which is an additional staffing demand. It's not working time even, so we can build another watchtower to at least fulfill some requirement. That would be even better. Let's build one here for now. We are we doing time-wise? Yeah. Didn't even remember the joy of the Londoners from before. Like, yes, how about it didn't go well at Winterhome? We want to go back to London. Do you think it's going better in London than it went in Winterhome? Like, politics. Yes, alright. 15 minutes to 3 hours. So let's do the 3 hours and then finish, do think for now, or we'll see then how it is, but do think that I could use also some nutrition. So considering we reached the charity goal and it has been very good longer term stream, do think that we might do Hitman World of Assassination tomorrow. I do think, and also quite good suit for that, so might also do the same suit, we'll see, or maybe do the fox with the red base suit. So alright, let's see how can we keep the Londoners a bit in check maybe. Like, yes, let's go to London when. Alright, 1 hour. Yeah, it's kind of a problem that we should have more coal. We do not. What was the current? We are not still running a surplus, but it's at least less at a deficit. So we do not really have problem with medical facilities at this time. So at least something works. And we built the other watchtower. So how much coal we have outside here? 112, so we can probably run the watchtower. So we fulfill at least something. As promised, to build a Mount watchtowers to maintain order in the city. Hope rises, so yes, let's increase hope a bit. And then we suddenly have 15 sick people. Yeah, because we run out of coal again. I think the easiest solution currently is to just wait until the morning. One could legislate for emergency shift if we still can't legislate for quite a while, and do not really believe, because it tends to be we are running without the heaters. We are actually running we are running a surplus when everything is off. Yeah, that's knowable. So let's then just cold at home, cold at work, yes, and we can't do much about that until we get cold, so let's run until morning because we can't do much else. The Londoners gain more followers, but we need to also start mining coal again, so there we go. Yes, people join the Londoners, that's not a surprise. So now we actually have coal, so we can again start heating. And now we turn only those heaters on that are mandatory. Food production is not really a question. Alright. Medical post. Let's for now make do with that. That is our current. Alright, we are still running a minor deficit. But we also have only 10 miners there. Now let's see what is our pile size. Alright, that pile is going to also run out, so we would also need workers there actually to replenish that at some point. And we have 20 wood again, so let's just simply mine more here also. So alright. I think that would be the same solution, that we also add more coal to that pile. Now we are running like, yeah. Here we have only 13 workers, so. This timely intervention. Third side climbed the generator, slipped and fell. Alright, neighborhood watch helped. That's good to hear that at least something is useful. Yeah, it's probably better to run the mining than the healthcare at this point. Like, yeah, how about we mine everything? This pile is huge because it's still 300, and here we are practically struggling to fill the piles even. 62, alright, and here it is also. So practically we should now have yes, we do have a stable coal economy, so we are not going to face a shutdown immediately. Now we are not producing wood. We can probably now research something useful.
The shift is ending.
Do we still even want improved heaters because they use more coal? It's like, yes, you can have improvements and they use more coal. Now we can research factory, so we could make prosthetics, but we do not have that many amputees to think, like 7, yeah. 7 extra workers, so it's like yes or no. It's also major undertaking, so probably not going to happen immediately. Then we need to also heat some houses, so that probably could use some research. How much we have? Alright, 23 hours. It's quite easy to heat some houses by simply increasing the you can have like every possible setting here, but you can like increase the heat zones, which helps only when you actually that is kind of opposite of heating homes. Yeah, increases temperature by 1 level. That is kind of a solution. Yeah, let's heat all houses. What is actually the livability. Yeah, they are like chili. We should have livable, so you can't have heaters at home, it's only workplaces. You can turn a tent off, yeah, like kick the people out sounds fair. Temperature overlay, it's immediately like yeah, it's not directly very simple question. It's the kind of like if one that is practically the solution. But then the issue is that we also, yes, we can increase temperature in all heat zones. One level, yes, that takes 8 hours to develop, yes, and we have 18 hours to heat homes, so it's kind of like just to save here and see if we can heat homes in the given time. It's also not lethal, but it's like many more will be very happy to leave, try and leave for London if we do not heat homes. Let's see how we are doing time-wise. Alright, soon 3 hours, so we will then see who we will raid, and certainly it's been really fun having the feline charity special with you all. So, any comments otherwise from the chat than the arena events in Frostpunk, which was funny, like food fighting, yeah. So, it's kind of like, yes, that will solve the issue, but it will also increase coal consumption, so it's like trying to push coal production. What do we do? Mostly we have people produce more coal. Alright, we can have laws, but do you think that the laws are kind of less than useful? What does morning gathering do? Morning gatherings will slightly raise hope from time to time. Hope will rise slightly. Sure, that's useful.
Hear me!
It increased hope a bit, but we also have a lot of discontent from the cold. Yeah, people were not totally happy with that, but hope increased, so whatever. We are not going to run out of coal, which should be celebrated, but Londoners gain more followers, yes. Fortunately, 23 is not a disaster. Do you think once played so far that the Londoners left? That was interesting. So let's then see, like, do we have enough coal mining capacity, hopefully. So we are going to start also mine coal before we run out, which is nice.
Move! Time to get to work.
That should be celebrated in itself as an achievement, like we do not run out. Lack of medical care, yeah. Because everyone is mining coal, so let's open one medical facility just for symbolic gesture. I think increasing wood production would be more useful, because that pile is still not running out of coal. It's like magically big compared to some, so let's put those workers rather to work with wood. And then we have to develop that so we can maybe heat some homes. Hours, and this will take, yeah, it's quite close, so that was why we saved, because it might be that heating homes proves very difficult. Yeah, it's like, can we heat homes or alright, the temperature in heat zones rises by 1 level. Yes, and result is that promise broken. You promised warmth. Yeah, we actually now have warmth. The problem is that now the homes are actually livable, but the counter more or less. And now this content drops because homes are now warm. We broke the promise like by what, half an hour? Politics. Let's see how that goes. But now this content dropped because we have less cold at home, so it's quite funny result. Yeah, the coal mining went, so we would need 4th coal mine really, but we need more people and we need expedition to get more people, so we would need to really put expedition group together no matter what. How much was that? 5 workers, and it requires wood. Fortunately we are producing wood. That was amusingly close. Alright, do think we are pretty much done time-wise. That was amusingly close. You can't develop it quite in 1 day after being asked to heat some homes, because now all the homes would be heated. That was really amusing. Timer stop. Alright, so do think we have done 3 hours now, and that was pretty good length for the charity special, as we usually do 1.5 hours, and do think that we will do Hitman World of Assassination tomorrow at some point during the Christmas Eve, so let's switch to the main screen and hope you enjoyed the feline charity special. And let's see, soon we will raid, but we'll at first thank you all additionally, like we do have the various plus saber cats also, so there we go. Very thankful cats. Oh, no problem. That was really fun doing. I usually do only now and then the charity special, so that was plenty fun and very, very pleased that it was enjoyed also by viewers, and thank you all for your participation, and we will most probably have another game tomorrow. That was really nice doing another start over, and again we learned the joy of the Londoners. Like, yeah, we try to heat some houses. It's always in that game. We should have even more aggressive coal production more quickly. It's like really, you have to really quickly throw the line to get enough coal. Even if we tried, it's still like, yeah, it's really, you need 4 facilities at that point already, really. Alright, let's then see who we will raid. Oh, thank you, Priareos. Let's close the game and see who we will raid. Oh, we shouldn't really. It's kind of like, do you want to save? Let's save like additional save file, like no heat, because we don't know if it's fatal yet to the leadership, even if we failed the promise and then introduced heat the next second. So let's exit. There we go, and see who's doing what, so we can see who will raid. And we also reached our charity goal, so thank you once again for that, and let's see who's doing what. So, Blaze is playing Dead Space. That's quite classical surprise trouble game. Yeah, that's probably most interesting. Plays in any case, we do not get to raid that often. It doesn't look like they are. Let's see, are they playing? Yes, they are playing, so let's raid them. It's been a while. There we should go. Let's see. Yes. Thank you all for joining, and thank you for your participation. We made our charity goal with the friendly felines of 5, so do think they will be happy in the UK. Also asked Twitch, can please have please also again has German or Danish or Swedish charities. It never had Finnish, but it used to have like also other European, like originally intended to do a French accordion music charity, but they actually had ceased to apparently operate. And also now France is no longer available, so yes, a charity in the UK apparently for now. Thank you all, and let's go and raid Blazy. Be well, have happy holidays, and we'll see most probably tomorrow.